We turn now to the day Belushi died. Events surrounding comedian and actor John Belushi's tragic drug overdose death are detailed in a new book entitled The Castle on Sunset. It's about the Chateau Marmont, where Belushi took his last breath and instantly put Hollywood's hedonistic hideaway on the map for scandal.
He was an addict. He was using hard drugs around the clock.
Author Shawn Levy is describing actor John Belushi during the last weeks of his life in early 1982.
If John Belushi could speak, he'd tell you he's got to go on.
Belushi had been one of the original breakout stars on SNL. And he'd become a movie star with the frat classic Animal House.
Thanks. I needed that.
But it had been a few years since that career high point when he started spending time at the hotel Chateau Marmont, ostensibly to get that career back on track.
John Belushi was in and out of the hotel a couple of times. He was engaged in a lot of heavy drug use, partly to research a film role. He wanted to play a punk rocker, so he was shooting heroin. And in that last week of his life, he wasn't taking care of himself physically, wasn't bathing, wasn't eating properly. He was really in a state of disrepair.
The Chateau was the perfect place for Belushi to indulge in his dark side. That's because the hotel had a reputation for protecting its hard-partying clientele.
You can come here and you can behave as you wish, and if you pay your bill and don't impinge upon other people, it's all good.
Belushi started his last stay at the Chateau on Sunday, February 28, 1982. He checked into his usual private bungalow where he had a string of visitors, both famous and infamous.
He was partying with Robert De Niro, Robin Williams, Harry Dean Stanton, people who were in and out of the comedy clubs and bars where Belushi hung out. But he was also partying with drug dealers and enablers who were in that world.
One of those enablers was Kathy Smith. By Thursday, March 4th, she had become somewhat of a regular visitor. Robert De Niro, who was staying at the Chateau, also stopped by a couple of times between Thursday night and Friday morning.
De Niro went down to Belushi's room. He didn't like hanging out there because Kathy Smith struck him as, in his word, trashy. He visited for a little while. I think he did some cocaine with Belushi. He left. He went back to his room. Robin Williams came by a few hours later. He was one of the last people to see Belushi alive, but Kathy Smith was there the whole night.
Then, sometime in the early hours of Friday, March 5th, John Belushi would succumb to a lethal dose of heroin and cocaine administered by Kathy Smith.
She gave Belushi what turned out to be the fatal injection, and he went to bed. She ordered room service, she checked up on him, and she left, and that was the last anyone saw him alive.
Word of Belushi's death spread quickly. Images of his sheet-covered body being removed from the Chateau have become iconic. Belushi was buried on Cape Cod. He was just 33 years old. Kathy Smith pleaded guilty to manslaughter. She served 15 months in prison and was deported to her native Canada. The bungalow where Belushi died was completely renovated so as not to create a morbid shrine to the beloved star.
But that didn't stop people. There were still, kind of ghoulish personalities who wanted to have a taste of Belushi. So for some people, the fact that someone died there was value added.
And it was value added for the Chateau as a whole.
After Belushi died, it was notorious, and every newspaper article, every mention of the place connected it to Belushi. And it's unfortunate, but it made the hotel's reputation from then on.
When Belushi checked into the Chateau in 1982, his apartment cost $250 a night. Well, today, it rents for upwards of $6,000 per evening. Shawn Levy's The Castle on Sunset is available now.